You know, many women quietly carry the feeling that it's harder to find love after 60, and that weight can feel heavy in a way that is difficult to put into words. It's not only about the absence of a partner at the dinner table or the empty side of the bed. It's also about a silent wondering, is there still room for me in the story of love? That question can echo inside even the strongest heart. And it's important to say this out loud. Feeling that way does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you are human and you are noticing how life changes with time. Society tends to shine its brightest lights on youth. You see it in movies, magazines, even in how people talk casually about romance, as if it belongs only to the young. But the truth is deeper. With every passing decade, what matters in love changes. In your 20s, you might have been drawn to excitement, to sparks, to the thrill of the unknown. In your 40s, maybe it was about building a life, raising a family, creating stability. And now perhaps what calls to you is companionship, laughter over morning tea, someone who knows how to listen when the evening feels long. That shift is not a loss, it's a kind of wisdom your heart has gathered along the way. If you sometimes feel invisible, I want you to pause and remember, invisibility is not the same as unworthiness. The world may not always know how to honor women in their later years, but that doesn't erase your glow. It only means that the ways of being seen are different now. You might not turn heads in the same way you once did, but you can touch hearts more deeply because your presence carries stories, resilience, and a kind of softness that only time can teach. Think about it. Isn't there something beautiful in knowing that you don't need to prove yourself anymore? You don't need to chase attention or pretend to be what you're not. You can simply be, and in that honesty lies the most magnetic kind of beauty. And yet I know how loneliness can creep in during quiet evenings. The silence of the house, the weight of days that pass without someone asking how you are, those things are real and they are tender to hold. But loneliness is not a permanent sentence. It is an invitation to look at your life with new eyes, to ask yourself, where can I open a little more? Where can I allow warmth back in? Sometimes it starts with very small steps, calling an old friend just to say hello, letting yourself smile at a stranger in the park, sitting with the thought that companionship can arrive in forms you never expected. The first shift is not about rushing to find someone, it's about gently loosening the belief that it's too late, because it isn't. As long as your heart is beating, it still knows how to connect. So before you tell yourself the door is closed, I invite you to pause and wonder, what if the best kind of love is still ahead of you? Not the wild, fiery kind of youth, but the steady, nourishing kind that fits the season you are in now. Tell me in the comments, where are you reading this from? I'd love to know what part of the world you're in. One of the quiet but powerful shifts that helps many women open to love later in life is letting go of old expectations. For decades, you may have carried an image of what romance is supposed to look like, the rush of butterflies, the intense passion, the whirlwind of excitement. But as the years pass, the kind of love that nourishes you begins to change. It's not that passion is gone forever, it's that your heart may now crave something steadier, warmer, and more reliable. And that's not settling, that's wisdom. Margaret, at 72, once shared something that stayed with me. She told me, I kept waiting for that spark, that dizzy feeling I remembered from my 20s, but every date left me disappointed because I was comparing real men in their 70s to a memory of boys in their 20s. One day I realized I didn't actually want sparks. What I wanted was someone who made me feel safe, who asked if I had eaten, who remembered the small details about my day. When she stopped chasing butterflies and started looking for kindness, her whole perspective shifted. Soon after, she met someone who wasn't flashy, but who walked with her in the park every morning and made her laugh when she felt heavy. That was when she said she finally understood what love at 70 could look like, different but deeply fulfilling. It's worth asking yourself, are you still expecting romance to feel the same way it did at 25? Or are you open to discovering a new kind of connection, one that fits who you are now, not who you used to be? Sometimes the greatest barrier to finding love is not the lack of opportunities, but the inner comparison to the past. If you let yourself release that, you give space for something more authentic to appear. Think of it like this: flowers that bloom in spring are different from those that bloom in autumn. Both are beautiful, but they thrive in different seasons. Your heart is the same. The love you need now doesn't need to mirror what you once had. It needs to meet you where you are today. A practical step you can try is gently redefining what partnership means for you at this stage. Take a quiet moment with a notebook and write down 3 qualities that truly matter to you now. Not the ones you were taught to desire, not the ones society glorifies, but the ones that bring peace to your daily life. Is it companionship over meals, someone who shares your values, or perhaps just a kind presence who checks in on you? This exercise isn't about lowering standards, it's about clarifying your real needs so you don't get lost chasing illusions. There's no rush here, no pressure to act tomorrow. Simply sitting with these thoughts can soften the weight of old expectations. And sometimes that alone is the doorway to new possibilities. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, I'd love for you to subscribe. Each week I offer gentle reflections and practical guidance on relationships, aging, and the quiet art of opening your heart again. As we age, one of the most profound shifts that takes place happens quietly, inside our own bodies. You may have noticed how your energy feels different than it once did, or how your reflection in the mirror tells a story that your heart is still learning to accept. These changes are not flaws. They are natural signs of a life that has been lived, of years that have shaped you into who you are today. Yet they can affect how you feel about opening yourself to someone new, and that's something we need to speak about with honesty and compassion. Medical science reminds us that as women grow older, hormone levels shift, muscle mass changes, and even posture or skin tone can alter the way we perceive ourselves. Estrogen, for example, plays a role not only in physical health, but also in mood and vitality. And as it decreases, many women report feeling less confident or less radiant. But let me reassure you, these changes are not the end of your ability to connect. They are simply signals that your body now needs different care and attention than it once did. If you've ever wondered why you feel more tired in the evenings, why your motivation to socialize comes and goes, or why intimacy feels different than it used to, know that there is nothing wrong with you. Your body is just speaking a new language, and the gentle task is learning how to listen. Think of Eleanor, 68, who once told me she avoided dating because she felt worn out and less attractive. When she visited her doctor, she discovered that much of her fatigue was linked to nutrition and simple movement habits. By adding daily walks and adjusting her meals, she felt her energy return, and with it, her confidence to meet others. What changed was not her appearance, but the way she carried herself, and that was what drew people toward her. Confidence does not come from pretending age hasn't touched you. It comes from honoring your body exactly as it is now. So let me gently ask you, are you giving your body the care it quietly asks for? Are you resting enough, moving in ways that feel good, nourishing yourself with food that truly supports your energy? These small choices build a foundation of vitality that shines through far more than wrinkles or gray hair ever could. One practical step is to create a small ritual of self-care each day, something just for you. It could be stretching in the morning sunlight, sipping tea slowly while listening to your breath, or choosing clothes that make you feel alive, not just dressed. These gestures may seem small, but they send a message to your mind. I am still here. I am still worthy of love. And when you carry that message inside, others feel it too. Remember, your body and mind are partners. If your body feels neglected, your mind begins to doubt its worth. But if your body feels cared for, your spirit grows lighter, and your openness to connection expands. Love at this stage of life is not about looking like you did in your 30s. It's about showing up with a presence that says, I know who I am, and I welcome someone who values that. The truth is, your body has walked with you through decades of joys and struggles, and it deserves kindness now more than ever. By tending to it, you are not chasing youth. You are preparing the soil for new growth, new friendships, and perhaps even new love. Opening yourself to companionship after many years of living independently can feel both exciting and intimidating. You may wonder where to begin, how to take the first steps without feeling awkward, or how to invite connection without the weight of pressure. The truth is, meaningful relationships often grow out of very simple beginnings. And when you give yourself permission to take things gently, those beginnings can feel natural rather than overwhelming. Think of it not as searching for love, but as allowing space for human connection, step by step. One of the most helpful ways to ease into this is by placing yourself in settings where conversation flows naturally. That could mean joining a local book club, a walking group, or even a class for something you've always wanted to try: painting, dancing, or gardening. These group activities create a safe environment where you can meet new people without the tension of forced introductions. The key is to approach them with openness rather than expectation. You're not there to find the one immediately. You're there to be present, to share, and to let small connections plant seeds that may grow into something more. Another gentle step is to practice daily conversations with strangers. It may sound trivial, but greeting your neighbor, chatting with the cashier, or asking someone in the park about their dog slowly rebuilds your comfort with interaction. Each small exchange helps you feel more at ease opening up, and over time, you'll notice that warmth becoming a natural part of how you carry yourself. Love often arrives through the smallest doors, and the way you hold yourself in everyday life can be that door. For those who are curious about technology, exploring online dating can be an option too. But here, the important thing is pacing yourself and creating safe boundaries. You might start by simply browsing profiles to understand how others present themselves. Then, when you feel ready, try writing a few honest lines about yourself. Not polished, not pretending, but real. For example, I enjoy morning walks, I love old movies, and I'm looking for a companion who values kindness. Simple honesty has a way of drawing in people who are looking for the same. Set limits that protect your comfort, like deciding how much time you'll spend on the app or what kind of communication feels right for you. Remember, you're not competing with anyone. You're simply allowing the possibility of connection to find its way to you. Let me ask you gently, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to enjoy being with people without worrying about outcomes? Can you imagine just being present, laughing with others, and allowing yourself to feel part of something again? Sometimes the very act of showing up, whether to a social group, a conversation, or even an online platform, is itself an act of courage. And that courage is the soil from which new companionship can grow. Love at this stage of life rarely arrives like a storm. More often, it slips quietly into the spaces we open, into the simple habits we practice, into the gentle rituals of human connection. By taking small, steady steps, you allow your heart to stretch, to grow, and to receive. And in doing so, you remind yourself that even now, even here, companionship is possible. So often I hear women say, "Men only want younger women," or "It's too late for me to start again." These words sound final, like doors locked from the inside, and yet they are not truths, they are myths. The belief that love belongs only to youth is one of the most powerful illusions our culture has built, and when you carry it inside, it can silently close your heart before anyone else even has the chance to step closer. But let's pause for a moment and look deeper. The reality is that many men in their later years are not chasing youth at all. They are longing for stability, kindness, and understanding. They have walked their own long paths, felt their own losses, and what they often want most is not someone young, but someone real. The myth endures because it feeds on fear, fear of being unwanted, fear of being left behind. And fear, when left unchallenged, becomes a story we tell ourselves until we start believing it is fact. Yet if you look around, you will see countless examples of couples who found each other in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Love at this age doesn't usually come with fireworks and dizzy spins. It comes with steady warmth, gentle humor, and a sense of being seen. Isn't that what the heart truly craves after all? Let me ask you softly, do you believe you're too old for love, or is that just a sentence you've repeated so often it feels like truth? What parts of yourself are you proud to share with someone new? Maybe it's your patience, your laughter, your life experience, or your ability to savor simple joys. These are treasures that grow richer with time, not poorer. Imagine if, instead of focusing on what you think is missing, you placed your attention on these gifts. How might that change the way you walk into a room or the way you speak to someone who shows interest? Practical wisdom tells us that myths lose their power when you shine light on them. Each time you catch yourself saying, "It's too late," replace it with, "I am ready for companionship that fits who I am today." Each time you think, "Nobody wants someone my age," remind yourself, "I carry qualities that only time could teach." These simple shifts in language can gently reshape the way you feel, and when your inner voice becomes softer and kinder, others sense that too. The truth is, love does not expire, it transforms. It no longer needs the drama of youth, it thrives on the depth of presence, the comfort of shared silence, the joy of knowing you don't have to pretend. That is not a lesser love, it is often a greater one, because it is built on authenticity. So I invite you to hold this thought close. Your age is not a barrier, but a bridge, carrying you toward a kind of love that belongs exactly to this season of your life. If this spoke to your heart, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss these gentle reminders and reflections. And tell me in the comments, what do you believe is the greatest gift of love later in life?